There's no way an American said that. We've said some dumb things as Americans, but exactly how dumb are these things that we've said? If you guys are watching this video and you're not an American, what's the dumbest thing us Americans have said to you? Wow. Starting off strong, I'm Scottish, was asked if we had TVs in Scotland. Didn't have the heart to tell them the Scots invented the television. Now, to be fair, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Well, the more you know, the farther you'll go, what they say, right? In Kansas, a man said to me, if English was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for me. I didn't bother trying to respond. If you guys are wondering why I have the German flag behind me, I make a lot of German content on this channel, so yeah. When I say I'm from South Africa, they're like, where's that? The clue is literally in the name. We're all geographically challenged, okay? I'm geographically challenged myself. At first, I thought it was just the southern half of Africa. And then I realized it's an actual, like, country. The fact that they got this country music in the background is killing me, my guy. About 20 years ago, when the big tsunami hit Indonesia and Thailand, one of my online American friends was very worried for me. Because of the tsunami, I had to explain to her that I live in Denmark, and that if the tsunami had hit me, we'd all be in a lot of trouble. Hey man, it's the thought that counts, man. The heart was in the right spot. I read about an American who had complained about a sign saying genuine Italian pizza because pizza is American. The pizzeria was in Italy. Oh Lord Jesus, we're down horrendous, bro. There's no way an American said that. There's no way. What else? I'm scared. I saw an American TikToker who got €500 worth of speeding tickets. I know who they're talking about. It's the chick with the glasses. I know who you're talking about. I saw an American TikToker who got €500 worth of speeding tickets in Germany because she thought that there was no speed limit in the whole country, like on the Autobahn. Yeah, that's not how that goes. And she found out, she checked her mailbox and she was bombarded with a lot of bills she had to pay in regards to speeding tickets in Deutschland. And it's not just that. Apparently you get points deducted from your driver's license, and if you get enough points deducted off your driver's license, well, you won't be driving. Okay? I was in Mexico from England, and an American couldn't understand why it took me 9 hours to get there and her only 3. Okay. I read this and I was a little confused. So this individual was in Mexico, boom, from England, and an American couldn't understand why it took me 9 hours to get there and her only 3. Well, obviously, England's farther than fucking America, dude. Come on, man. I got told off by an American for stating my friend was black. The correct term is African American. I'm Irish. My friend is Irish. You know what's interesting about this topic? Whenever there are different ethnicities in different countries and stuff, people that are Caucasian, of Caucasian descent, in European countries specifically, they won't say that the other ethnicities that are living there that were born and raised in said country, said European country, they won't say that they're European. They'll say that they are black or Islamic, or black or Arabic or Chinese or Japanese or anything but the nationality that they grew up in, which I think is very strange, you know? What's next on the chopping block? I work on a South African reserve. I had American guests ask why the lions aren't on a vegan You should have kicked them out, man. You should have kicked them out. Nah, get out of here, bro. Get out. Why? No. There's tiers to dumb questions, and that's like almost, that's A tier. The great granny had a house near a nature trail in the UK. It was remote, so she could often leave doors unlocked. Once she came out of her bedroom to find us tourists sitting in her living room, they proceeded to tell her the service was terrible and they'd been waiting half an hour for a cup of tea and lunch to be served, and they could have some chairs put out, so they can take it out to the lawn. She quickly threw them out of her house. That was her house. That's so crazy to me. So Americans literally invited themselves inside this woman's home. That's a breaking and entering charge right there. But I guess they didn't know that. But come on, man. You can't just be walking in random places like that. At a reconstructed Viking village in Sweden, I was asked if the government treats us right, as if it was a reservation for Vikings. What? That's so weird. Such a dumb question, dude. I was asked how haggis was made. I explained that it was traditionally boiled in a sheep's stomach. They ask how we get the haggis back out of the sheep. That's a valid question, though, because the fuck is haggis in the first place? And how do you get that out of the sheep if you're boiling it in the stomach? I just realized what I just asked, dude. The stomach is literally inside a pot, and they boil the haggis inside the stomach of the An American woman asked me if the moon here in South Africa is different than the moon that they have in Texas. Well, you had me at Texas, okay? That's very, come on, man. You can't tell me you didn't expect a question like that from somebody from Texas. Okay, I'm just saying, bro. I told American that Austrian money looked different to USA money. She told me it was illegal to print your own money. That's egotistical right there, man, because America does not run the world. There are other forms of currency worldwide. In fact, I think there's like this whole movement between other countries, massive countries. I think India is one of them, and they're trying to inflate their currency so that they are not so dependent on American currency. I'm confused every time I hear an American insist that my neighbor is African American when he's never been to neither Africa or America. He's third generation Swede and British before that. Yeah, when you're overseas and you see a person of darker complexion, it doesn't automatically default them to African American. Maybe African of some sort or whatever, but African American is a huge assumption. Are they from America at all, bruh? There was an American in our store who tried to get served before everyone else because he was American, and we should be grateful that he's... Yeah. Boot his ass out. Those are the types of people that make us look bad, bro. They make us look horrible, bro. Like, oh, this is insane. This is insane. I can't believe this. I asked an American what their nationality was in their passport, and they said white. Ethnicity. Nationality. What's your nationality? I'm an Australian, and I once had an American tell me my English was very good. He said the same thing as a New Zealander, and I said, thanks, I've been practicing since I learned to speak. What other language do they expect to speak, man? I got told that Australians can't be gay because only people in America can be gay. I was told by an American. Not Americans gatekeeping being gay, bro. That's what? That's so weird. Bilingual American here. I was speaking French to my son, and someone complained loudly how Spanish is taking over. Oh, they were stupid. That's what that was. That is exactly what that was. When I worked at a knitwear factory making knitted clothes, an American once asked me where we kept the colorful sheep, not realizing we dye the wool, we don't have purple sheep. Well, you just killed my dreams in the comment, ma'am. You didn't have to tell me Santa Claus wasn't real. Y'all gotta let me know the craziness that you guys have heard Americans tell you in the comments down below. I'm Scottish, went on a cruise a few years ago, and I heard that Americans can sometimes say pretty dumb things. I didn't believe this until I was talking with one person when I was on the boat, and an American asked me to turn off my accent because he couldn't understand me. This American asked you to turn off your accent like it's a built-in feature or something? Okay. Hello, hi, I am said person, and I have turned off my accent. When I did a study abroad semester in America, someone once asked me if we had knives and forks in England to eat our food. I have a Northern English accent, and the amount of people that asked me where New Zealand I was from was quite impressive. So does America think that the whole world like eats on their hands and knees? No utensils, just be scooping? And I was shopping with my mom in the States. We were speaking Portuguese. The cashier asked if we were speaking Jewish. An American tourist got out of his hire car to bang on my window for not turning right on a red light in London. Everything is backwards in London. You drive on the left side of the road, so you would not go right on red. If anything, you would probably go left on red in London. I'm not sure how that works, but you guys let me know in the comments down below if that's somewhat accurate or not. I was in Prague with my Glasvegian boyfriend. I don't even know what that is. Glasvegian? What the fuck is that? An American tourist approached us asking for directions. Boyfriend gave said directions. She stared at him for a second and proceeded to curse at him because no one in this shit heap can speak English. I then decided to translate for her. He does have a thick accent. Then she told me that I needed to work on my accent. I'm English. Isn't it quite accurate? What? Dude, it's just, man, it hurts my soul how rude a lot of Americans are, bro. Like, when they travel overseas, very entitled. They expect people to conform to them. I'm American myself, and I understand that when I go into another country, I'm at the country's mercy. I have to abide by their rules, their customs, their courtesies and stuff like that. I had to explain to a U.S. tourist in Scotland that a squirrel was in fact not a rep. That person was boneheaded. That person was just boneheaded. That's not an accurate representation of Americans. I was at a cafe in Stockholm when an American girl came up and asked if I knew when the next train to Asgard leaves. She was totally serious. Don't even answer that question. Disengage immediately when you hear something like that. I was in Estonian language class with an American girl and she asked me how the hell do Estonian children learn this language. I told her that people from other countries have different default languages other than English. She didn't believe me. I do have a question about that though. Is Estonian, better yet, how easy is it to learn English in comparison to other languages, right? Like if you were to start from scratch, completely not knowing anything, how easy do you think it would be to pick up English? Like, do you think you could be able to speak it in a day from not knowing it at all? Is it pretty difficult? Because I mean, Germans know that German is very difficult to speak, right? But you know, Americans, I think we think that English is like cake or whatever, right? And maybe it's not. I've heard some people say that English is easy. I've heard other people say that English is difficult. What are your guys' thoughts and feelings on that? Someone I know doesn't agree that Egypt is in Africa. I asked them where they think it is. They said Saudi. Those are the it sounds like a flat earther to me. I'm from Wales and had an argument with an American in New Zealand that Wales wasn't a real place. I spoke some Welsh and she was like, "You're just making that up." Wow. It hurts. Stupidity hurts. Had an American ask me if I was ashamed that my grandpa's actions during World War II and how I felt about my family being on the wrong side of the Warm Scottish. Jesus Christ. Did they assume that you were German or something? And even so, like, kind of wild, dude. In Mont St. Michel, and a family of Americans in front of me asked a shopkeeper if he spoke American. He responded English and they walked away. They speak American, but it's just English. There's no like, there's American English and there's British English, but like speaking American is stupid. Like, what the fuck? Like, was asked by an American which part of Japan New Zealand was. Wow. I got a story for American tourists in the wild. I'm a German exchange student. One of my classmates found out and asked me if I knew some random German guy. Since Germany wasn't a tiny town in Canada, I just walked away. Norway here. American colleague visiting our Norwegian office seriously asked why we had white people working in the cafeteria. That's like one of the whitest countries in the world, dude. Oh my God, dude, what the fuck? I got asked once if Latin America had a president, as in the whole South America, a single president. Well, I guess, to be fair, the United States, all of the entire United States, right? I guess, never mind. I was gonna say something stupid. Because North America includes Canada, and the president is not the president of Canada and America. South America, though, it's basically the same size or similar shape as America, right? Like, I mean, it's its own thing. So I would think that, like, if all the countries came together, you could have the United States of South America, right? I thought that could be a thing, but I guess all the countries are separate. But that would also be like having, like, the president of Europe. Like, that's not going to be a thing, you know? I saw an American having a meltdown that the USA wasn't in the Commonwealth. I asked what he had celebrated on the 4th of July. He said you wouldn't understand. Oh my God, dude. Oh my goodness. Fellow Cornish. My house is an old church, and I recently had a tourist ringing the old bell attached to my house. When confronted, they said, "There's no sign saying I can't ring it." Me, "There's no sign saying you can either." Now fuck off. That dude's inner thoughts won. I'm South African, and while working in the States, I was asked if it was my first time wearing clothes. Huh? What? That's so stupid. Did people really think that people in Africa don't wear clothes at all? Like, at all? Like, clothes are just void in Africa? In Croatia, we heard American debating about whether there are bears in Europe. One said no, they did not before we imported them there. Why would we import bears to Europe? It's like we think that Americans, all of us think that we're like the center of the universe. Everything revolved around us. American tourists in my restaurant in Canada couldn't believe that we had, and I quote, people of color here because they thought we were albino. Jesus. Not sure if that had something to do with the province Alberta. Was too stunned to ask. We were in Ontario. Good googly moogly, dude. I'm Polish and I was asked multiple times how was life during World War II, and I was forced to concentration camp. I'm 20, by the way. What? Oh, and was I forced into concentration camps? Yeah, people still ask dumb ass like World War II questions, and it's irritating, bro. The education system in America is the worst it's ever been, and it's declining because the government's pulling funding from the education system. So expect to see more shit like that in the future. Just letting you know, it's kind of just how it is, unfortunately. Good God. I got into a 5-minute argument with an American because he refused to accept that I was Filipino since I was tall. I'm 5'8". Apparently I was lying to him because Filipinos can't grow any taller than 5'3". That is racist. Racist. An American was being racist. It's terrible. Jesus Christ. Stereotyping, at least. I'm Norwegian, and in 2014, I worked at the Norwegian Pavilion in Epcot, Walt Disney World. Americans usually didn't believe that I could be Norwegian because I didn't have an accent. Apparently, you can't be perfectly bilingual. My friends with an accent had apparently been paid to make the illusion more believable. Even when I spoke Norwegian, in their face, I was pretending. We also apparently ride polar bears in the streets here. Oh, God, dude. That's insane. It's scary. I was once asked by tourists why I'm not in school and am I too poor to go to school. It was summer in Jamaica and I was 13 enjoying the beach. And then this is probably why we have such a huge, like, stupid racial divide and shit in the United States. It's because of the painfully education levels that a lot of people in America have, right? We make very ignorant assumptions and we project on other people. It's insane. It's so stupid, dude. My sister's roommates in her student exchange program were shocked she knew about AC/DC, Nike, and the Beatles. They were American. She's Israeli. It's like they think that it's like we think America is like the pinnacle of everything, and we know everything in the universe and the world, and no one else knows shit. No one else can do shit. They are at the mercy of America. It's so stupid, dude. I was a Spanish exchange student in Missouri, and so many students didn't know Spain was in Europe. The high school I attended didn't even have language courses. Oh, you must have been in like, oh, you were in Missouri. Yeah.